My name is Natasha Robinson. I am the Deputy Chief Diversity Officer and Title IX Coordinator for Roosevelt University. I have been with Roosevelt since 2018 as an assistant teaching professor of criminal justice. I left the university for a while and then I came back, and now I am in the current roles that I described earlier. My interactions with the students include making sure that they know what their rights are under the Title IX policy. Now, this is just Natasha talking, so I'm going to tell you what I think about this. What I think about this is that we live in a society where the belief of homogeneity, of homogeneous issues where everybody is supposed to be the same is not a reality. When people say to me, I don't see race, I don't see gender, my response is, then you don't see me, because I am a Black woman and I am a proud Black woman. And so when we're talking about diversity, we're talking about being in the same or similar situations and testifying to our lived experiences. So no one is a better expert about your life other than you. And so when I bring that into my role of equity and inclusion, we are living in times where now you have anti-woke statements, anti-DEI statements, and we can go back and forth with that type of argument. So I'm not going to hold you long. What I am going to tell you is that when we're talking about DEI, we're talking about providing opportunities for persons who probably would have gotten those opportunities had they been a different gender or a different race or a different ability, disability. And so inclusion is about making sure that in every space in which we live, there is fairness. There is the acknowledgement that we are dealing with humanity, and people want to be treated as persons who their humanity is acknowledged, it is regarded, and it is protected. And so that is what I bring to my role, is to make sure that people are more than just a number, that their names are not called because they are reprimanded, but that we see them, we see each other. And so DEI is just another attempt, if you will, to make sure that a lot of wrongs are righted, to make sure that we don't engage in what I call aesthetic allegiance to DEI, where we just use it as a hashtag or something cute, but we really lean into the commitment that we have to it. And here in this institution, that is embedded in our social justice mission, and we need to make sure that we close the gap between what we say we believe and what we actually do. Point number one is that I would say stay true to your authentic self. Now, I know we're living in times where people say, authenticity, be true to yourself. Understand that being true to yourself can have a cost. And so it is about not being just honorable to who you are right now, but who you are on your way to being. And that can include putting up boundaries. That can include saying, what do I believe and why do I believe it that way? It can also mean knowing that everybody, in your space is not in your corner, about recognizing what are someone's true intentions and how can those intentions help embody who you are and what you believe. So if you stay true to that, then you will be fine, because there can be no better than you. The second point that I would say to students is to stay aware. Now, we are living in times in which the stay woke hashtag is being targeted because it is caught up in another rhetoric fight. I don't want you just to be woke. I want you to be aware. And what I mean by that is, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you need to get some water, you are awake, but are you aware? Because sometimes you can bump into something, or your depth perception and how you see things may not be as acute as if you are fully awake. So when you are woke in the literal and the figurative sense, be aware. Understand sometimes, now this is, a little, I would say neighborhood advice. You got to keep your head on a swivel. What does that mean? That means being aware, knowing that you show up in the totality of who you are in spaces and places that may not always welcome you. But that does not mean that because you don't get in the invitation that you don't earn or have the deserved right to be where you are. So always remember that, especially in places of higher education. The third thing that I would say is have fun. Because sometimes we can get so serious that we can get so offensive and we can forget those things that we used to love and enjoy before we got into school, before we started working, before anything. So always keep a running list of the things and the people that bring you joy. And when you are able to curate that with intention and with excitement, even with all of the things happening on around you, you can still be true to yourself and don't feel guilty because you are doing the things that bring a smile on your face and in your heart. So those are the three things I would recommend.